what I want to do too is I want to show you just a couple quick goodies on what iMovie looks like and then what I use. Hang on. Okay. So here's iMovie. And the beauty of these video editing programs is they have different functionality, like even with a PC or an Apple computer, but basically the working template is the same. So you have in this case, you have your media, which is your photos, your video, all your stuff is going to be in this box. Your viewer is over here. That's where you're going to see what you're working on. And then down here is the timeline. And that's where we're going to put all those imagery, whether it's photos, stills, or music, in the timeline. So that's iMovie. Now this is what I'm using. Apple has, this is called Final Cut Pro. I've been using this program for well over 25 years, not looking like this. As you can see, it's the same thing. Here's my media in this box. My viewer's in the center, which I love. I can make it nice and big, which you really can't do so much in iMovie. And then this is the timeline. And so we have our photos and video in this part of the timeline, and you see these little gray boxes, they're transitions, so it's dissolves and stuff like that. My music is down here, so anything below the gray line in Final Cut is music or audio, and anything above is pictures, video, whatever, graphics, text, anything like that. Yes?
You have to add Final Cut on. Is it separate? You buy it?
You have to buy it. It's about $300. John is learning Final Cut, and I can tell you, you'll have the same thing with iMovie if you haven't used it. At first, it's very overwhelming, and that's why today I just want to give you a little walk before we run thing, because your head will explode, literally.
What's QuickTime Player? Because I open my movies and now it pops up in QuickTime Player.
Right. Well, that is QuickTime is your. Anytime you have a video, QuickTime is going to pop up. It's going to show you the movie. That's what that is. Okay.
So I get out of that.
You can just quit it. You're fine. Just do it. Command Q. You should quit it. It should. Should. Try. Just go ahead and just quit the program. I'd use click on this, and then go up here, QuickTime, and quit it. Okay.
Can iMovie projects be transferred very easily?
Nope. No. So you'll have to start over. This gets, when you get to this level, as John can attest, he came over to the house, we had a 1 hour, and he's done iMovie, so he's familiar with the program. After about an hour, he's like, okay.
My head exploded.
His head is exploding. It's like unbelievable. So he went home, he worked on some stuff. About a week later, we had another session here at the club, actually, which was, and we can maybe do some of that at some point too. Joe was even here for that, to watch some of that. And he had questions about, how do I do this now? How do I do that? And we went through that stuff, and we spent, I don't know, a good hour and a half, again, working on stuff. That's the way I want you to kind of think of iMovie. Same thing. You're going to try this basic stuff, then we're going to then try a little bit more. If we have questions, we can answer them as time goes on. Yes, sir.
Is that, of course, it requires Mac because it's
Yep.
a Mac program. So, is there, when you first open up the program, I opened up on my iPad just for curiosity, and it had offered me 3 different things, which I thought was interesting. Magic Movie, which it does it, you pick the photos,
Sure.
and it does it for you.
Yep.
It's got storyboard, and it's got the movie.
Okay.
So this has got to be the movie.
Well, you're going to do the movie. Now, again, I'm not all that up on iMovie. Now, we have had one of our people in the Multimedia SIG that's made a couple of videos on the iPad, and they really, I'm shocked at how nice they've turned out. They are really good. Like anything else, I think you just have to try it. Try, especially if we have time. We got time. Meaning not today, but in life, play with the program a little bit. Try some different things. When I first, quick story, I always got quick stories and I'm always ADHD, so I'm off God knows where. When Photoshop first came out, and I started using this 25 plus years ago, I had no instructions, there was no YouTube, there was none of that. And I went through the entire program and checked out what everything did to try to learn. And then over the years, I would learn from people. So anyway, in iMovie, it's limited. You can only do a couple levels of video or anything that you want to put up there. I mean, you can do text and stuff, and that's a third level. But you can only do 2, and I don't know, I think you can maybe do 1 or 2 levels of audio down below. That's why it's a free program, and it gets you started. I'm going to show you one of my most difficult projects ever. This is why when we talk about Final Cut, and Final Cut has the ability, at last check, you can do 100 levels of video, and you can do 50 levels of audio. So
You got too much time on you.
Okay.
I'm getting paid for this.
Oh, okay, that's
So getting paid is a good thing. But literally, on this photo shoot, this was a shoot I did for Caterpillar. We had 2 ground cameras, we had 2 GoPros, we had a drone, and then we were recording information off the computer that was inside. So we had screens there, so you can see all this video. The purple is the text.
Is each level, so is one GoPro, one level? And,
Yeah, anything you see.
camera, another
Yep.
level?
Yep, anything like that is a level of something. So anyway, this is how deep this program can be. This program I know much better than I know iMovie.
And below the gray bar is all the sound.
That would be all sound. In this case, we had a person that was going to do live narration to this. So there was some sound effects that we did. That's this little bit that you see down here. So anyway, that's why I don't want your heads to explode. Okay?
So tell us about iMovie.
Yes, I'm good. You're like, I don't want to see this program. Forget it. Okay. So anyway, that kind of gives you a little story. Now here's a little goodie, one last goodie I want to show you just about what I do when I am doing my stuff. Why will you not open? Here we go. Okay. I like to keep my projects, I like to keep all my stuff, all my content, I put it in folders. It keeps me more organized. So in the case of this, I might create for a project. Today I call this iMovie. I've got a folder for music, I've got a folder for photos, and I got a folder for video. It just helps, does 2 things. It helps keep you more organized. The other goodie is when the project is done, you want to get it off your computer. I like to keep all my content in one nice big folder. So let's say 6 months down the road, I want to go back and do something. Well, what if you have it off on some other hard drive? All the, like half of this is somewhere and somewhere else, and you're trying to find it. Now you're in trouble. If you keep it all into one nice big folder, then it makes your life a lot easier. Does that make sense? And the other beauty of this too is whatever works for you, great. If this doesn't work for you, that's fine, but this works for me, and this is what I do for all my projects.
So that's one project. How do we know which project that is?
On the very top, you see how it says iMovie?
iMovie,
I've named it.
where can you put the name?
You would click on the name, and I can put in.
But if you had more than one project,
Well, I'm just calling this iMovie because I wanted to keep it simple for today.
you can.
See this? I can change this to. Hang on.
This is his project today.
This is my project today. I could call this Green Valley, whatever. I can name it whatever I want. So that's all you're doing. So anyway, again, whatever works for you is fine. All right. So let's look at iMovie. we're going to open it up. Hang on a second here. What is up with my mouse today? There we go. In the applications and your hard drive is iMovie. Just double click on it. We'll open her up. Switch glasses here. Okay. So as I showed you before, we've got a, oh, you know what I want to do is I want to create a, hang on. I'm going to create a new project. I can get rid of that. Yeah, I'm just going to do it this way. Okay. There's the create new. You see that on the left here. When we click on that, we can, they've got a thing for a trailer, which is kind of probably like an automated thing. We want to create a movie. So we just click on that, and now our project's going to open up. I'm not going to use these glasses. I'm going too much the other way. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to import the media. So in this case, Joe has some photos that he had taken at the Sarita Car Show a few weeks ago. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Import Media, and it's going to pop up with all my options. Well, I have this on my desktop. You could have it on a hard drive or the actual hard drive or whatever, but I prefer to work off the desktop. Just makes my life easier. So I'll go to my iMovie folder, and here's my photos. Double click. I can select one of them, and then I do a Command A, or Apple A as I call it, and then I'm going to import. You could do this one at a time, but it's a pain in the butt. So just import all the photos. And I've also, the other goodie too is, I've done all my Photoshop work or anything that I'm going to do to the photos before I get them in the program. It, again, makes your life easier. There's things that you can do to adjust photos here, but unlike this, I like to just work as a sequence. Yes?
So you have to work out of the desktop?
It's just easier. You could have it on an external hard drive. You know, if you had one of the hard drives and you said, okay, this is my iMovie thing and all of my projects are going to be on this. It's just wherever you put them. Okay, so now we're just going to import them. Boom, here comes all our photos. Yes, Patty?
Do they import in the order that you put them, or do they jumble them?
They are sequential by the naming convention or the, so if, let's say you said, like this photo, the first photo, you had that as listed photo 1, photo 2, photo 3, photo 4. It's going to come in that way. Or if it's alphabetical, it would come in alphabetically or whatever. It's not, to me, it's not so important. All I care about is that my photos are in here and now I can drag them in, so to speak. So we've done that. Let's also import the music. I'm going to import. So I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to go up top here. See my little, the other goodie is, see how when I put that cursor over an item, it tells you what it is. Import video from a camera or folder on your computer. So we click on that one more time. And if I go back, see I was in my photo folder. Now I'm going to go back to my main folder. And I'm going to go to music. Come on. I'm very pokey today. Here we go. And I could do the same thing and I can import all that music. And this is, again, you don't necessarily have to do this right away. You don't have to find music right away. You might want to see how your video is going before you start searching for some music. Yes, sir.
So where do you find it?
We have at the website for the Camera Club, there are all kinds of free services that are out there. And I will put links for it. And you can go there. It's royalty-free music. As an example, don't pick music by the Rolling Stones. If you do, and you put it up on YouTube, it will get blocked immediately. It won't even upload all the way before that music gets blocked. So we use music that's royalty-free. if you're going to just, let's say you're going to create something. Now, here's the exception. If you're going to create a video for a family reunion or some goodie like that, and the only place you were going to show it was at the family reunion, you can use music from the Rolling Stones or whoever. It doesn't matter. If you want to put it up on YouTube, you better pick royalty-free music. So, and that's a whole nother discussion at some point. So anyway, now I've imported my music. So you see it in the green, that's my music. All right. So to start, you could drag all these photos down as one big group. I prefer, in this case today, to just drag them down one at a time. It makes this a little easier. So all you're doing is you're going to click and see the little plus sign here. You just click that. Boom, it comes down in the timeline. Nice.
To Patty's point, that's why it doesn't matter if they go up in order.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you're saying, okay, this is my first shot. Now the other goodie is,
The length of time on this, because we're looking at it.
right, if you look right here in the middle, 0.6, that's 6 seconds. I went in and preset this to make my photos 6 seconds. Now the beauty of this is you can make them longer or shorter, and I'll show you how.
Why does it show it multiple times?
What's that?
Same picture, number of times. That's the movie.
It's just, that's the movie. Since this is a still photo, now you can, the thing you can do, there's two things you can do. There's a settings where you can, over here on the right, you can click on that and collapse that down and it's just one frame. When you're working on maybe a longer video clip, it helps to have it be a little bigger. In this case, just one frame because we already know what it is. Now I can, you see when I go over the photo, see how it says 6 seconds right here? I can also click and hold. Now it's 7, 9 seconds, 10 seconds. So that's all I'm doing is I'm clicking and holding and dragging the photo. The other way you can do it too is you can click on the 6 seconds, and I think, it won't do it. Okay, forget it. That's the way you're going to do it. See, I learned too. All right. So what I want to do is, yes, sir.
Quick question.
Yeah.
If you get started with the project and then all of a sudden you decide, no, I'd rather have something ahead of this,
Mm-hmm.
is that easy enough to do?
Yep. All we have to do is, let's say we want to start with this photo. Let's add it. Boom, there it is. I just drag it over. Should be able to drag it over. Let's see. Let me Apple Z it. Oh, let's try it again. Actually, the way I would do it is drag it and put it there. That's the way to do it. Okay? So we could start with that photo. Now what we would do is say, okay, let's get one more photo just to start. Let's add this rascal. And actually, it's going to flip up. There we go. Okay, so we got 3 photos up here. And to just be super simple, to start, we're not going to add any motion to these photos. We're just going to have it be a slideshow. Yes, sir.
A number of people with presentations, they've shown them this like border around color around. Is that something that's available?
Oh, like a frame? My assumption would be is that you would do that before you brought it into iMovie. So that would be like probably a Photoshop or Photoshop Elements or something. Yeah, that's why I said do whatever you want to do beforehand. Get all that Photoshop work done or image adjustment work done beforehand, and then you're good to go. Yeah.
The 6 seconds doesn't show on the others too. Are they still 6 seconds?
Yep. Everything is 6 seconds because that's what there's a.
It depends on where you put that.
Could you
Okay.
change the one in the middle to be 8 seconds? and
Sure.
The other 2 6?
Yep.
That's easy.
Yeah, all I have to do is just click on it. Boom. Now it's 8 seconds. And I'll show you where that's important. Let's take it back to 6 just to do that, or somewhere in that ballpark. There we go. Okay. So now, did you have questions?
Same question.
Oh, okay. All right.
Do you set that 6 seconds before you start dragging down the pictures?
There is a default setting. I think it's 4 seconds. I went in somewhere in the preferences, and God knows where I did it. There's a preferences, and maybe, there we go, photo duration. So I could say, okay, let's make that 10 seconds. Now every photo that I bring in will be 10 seconds. Yeah. I would just, if it's me, I would set a default like it's 6, and then you can alter the picture depending on what you're doing. Just, again, we want to keep it really simple. Simple is good. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Boom, thank you. Okay, so what we want to do is, we're going to do a fade in, it's called, because we want right now as the pictures go, if I just play this real quick, this little thing is your cursor. So basically, if we put that at the beginning, we hit play, the pictures are just going to be up for 6 seconds, and it's just going to cut right to the next photo. It's not very interesting. Nothing, nothing to write home about. So what we can do is, let's take this back. Forgive me, I got my head going one way and the other way. I want to fade in, and under transitions, up at the top here, this is where we have our, to kind of regress just slightly, we have our media, which is all this stuff. I can get audio visual, that's where like your photos program potentially could be here. Here's music, there's sound effects, all kinds of stuff. Again, you just have to play with this a little bit. They got all kinds of good stuff in here. We have titles, and we'll work on that in a second. There's backgrounds. You could put something behind. That's where we were talking about potentially putting something behind. And then we have transitions. So to start, we're going to do a fade in. It's not in there. Where did I find that? Settings. Hang on. It's settings. Here we go. What I'm going to do is I want to do the first photo, and I'm going to fade in from black. So now, when I click, hopefully, on this picture, it's going to fade up from black.
Tell me where you found the project.
Hang on a second. Yeah, it's going to work. It's over here on the right below the viewer, project settings. Well, and it's free, so it's really worth it. And again, I'll have this on YouTube so people can see this and you can refer back to it. So anyway, so now that picture is going to go from black to fade up. Boom. Nice. See all that? It wasn't a hard, it's a 1 second fade up. I have yet to figure out how to make that like a 2 second fade up, but here we go. See that? So it's a nice little, from black, it's nice and soft. Yes?
If you put the cursor between the two pictures, just hold it between the two pictures on the timeline on the bottom. See what it does.
Hang on.
In between the pictures.
Yeah, but this is at the front end of the,
Go to the next space.
yeah, but if,
Now, you should be able to choose your fade right here. Kind of transition.
I don't know. I won't. This could be something to work on for next class. Again, I don't know this program super well. I know it enough to just show you today.
The settings is good.
If you want, I can open Final Cut again, and I can show you exactly how it is. And it'll be really easy. Okay.
So we could use settings, or we could use those ones.
Well, apparently and I think I looked, there's a fade to black, which could be your last one. You click on it, but there's no fade from black to the image. So that's where I found it in settings.
Right, but we could still use those ones?
You can use
instead of
these.
Those three, or you have to use one of those three on the right under
No.
settings?
You could use any of these.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Pat?
You know how with the time limits, you could pick 6 seconds.
Right.
Can you pick the same transition for every single photo?
Yes, and I'll show you how. This is beautiful.
Oh, that's good too.
You're going to learn all kinds of stuff today. Okay, So now what we want to do is we want to just add a little cross dissolve, they call it, between the photos. So I'm going to take my cross dissolve and I'm going to drag that down between the two photos. And right now it's a 1 second fade. Okay, so now let's play that real quick. So we're up for 6 seconds. And now we're going to cross dissolve, boom. And we're going to get another cross dissolve here. There you go. Now, I can go in to Patty's question. If I click on that dissolve, I can change the duration of the dissolve.
There it is.
So I can say, okay, let's make that 2 seconds. And I can either apply it just to these two photos or I can apply it to all of them. Well, let's apply it to all transitions. Boom, now they're 2 seconds. So if we watch the fade, or I should say the dissolve, hang on. God, trying to grab it. Okay, so here we go. Now that fade up is only 1 second. It's not affecting the fade up, but it is going to affect it. Here comes 2 seconds. Boom. See how soft that is? Nice and easy. Here comes the second one. Away we go. Okay. Yeah. Right where the dissolve is.
Yeah.
See that where it's right here? And if I don't kill myself, you're just going to click on that. Double click, I should say. And then that little window is going to come up, and then you can make that whatever time you want. And you either apply it just to that transition or to all the transitions. Okay? All right. Now that we've done that, and that's a simple little slideshow in terms of we haven't done any cropping or anything else. Well, let's go in, let's crop these photos now because they're not full screen. This black is going to show up. So if we click on our first photo, and up here at the top is the little crop tool. And again, you see how it says cropping? As you go over these, it'll tell you what the tool does. Color balance, color correction, cropping, stabilization, that's more for video, actual video pieces. You've got your audio, your volume, noise reduction, speed, all kinds of good stuff. There's all kinds of options. Now there's also this little magic button here. You see that up top where I'm circling? This will do an auto correction on color and contrast and stuff. If you click on it, and it didn't do much. Joe, you did a good job. So if you had a photo that was maybe indoors and there's mixed lighting, so there's tungsten lighting, there's some daylight, you can click on that and you can just turn it on or off. Again, I would rather do all this beforehand. Okay, so now let's go to our crop tool and it gives us a bunch of options. We can keep it as is, which is fit, which is full frame. We can crop to fit, and you see this magic little box appears. Now I can do a couple of options with this. I can move this around. If I click and hold, I can reposition it, or I can go in, if I grab the corner and I click and hold, I can crop tighter. I can do something like that, or whatever I want to do. When I'm done, I just hit the little blue on the top right here, the check mark, and now it's cropped the photo. So you can go in and do that. So let's just say, just to start as another goodie, and if I reset, thank you. Let's go to crop. And what I want to do is let's crop to fill. So we're just going to take Joe's photo. We're going to crop that. Let's go to the next one. We're going to go to crop to fill. Anywhere in there is pretty nice. Click that. And then let's do the last one. I love the tiger. And what I'm going to do is maybe crop him a little tighter. just to give us something a little different. So I'm just grabbing the edge. You see how I'm doing that? I'm clicking and holding, and I'm grabbing that little corner of the photo, and then I can still, if I can still click and hold, I can move that all around. So there's my tiger. Now the other goodie is, see if I go too far over, see how I'm into the black with the crop here? So you got to be aware of your edge of your photo. So let's drag that back. There we go. And this has got kind of a magnetic thing at the edge, so it will snap in. So, if you're not sure, especially with a smaller screen, like if I go over here all at once, boom, it locked right in. So there we go. So let's do this. So there's that. Let's say okay. Now let's look at the video. Okay. So we have a nice, here comes our transition, nice dissolve. And then we got a nice dissolve. So nice, that's nice and simple. Now let's do this. This is, they call the Ken Burns effect. If you've seen the documentaries that he does on PBS, he has a nice movement to his photos. And I'll show you how we do that. Okay, so I've reset all the photos. I should have reset, right? I want to reset all. I guess I have to undo it that way. Okay, and then here. Okay, so now let's go to our cropping tool, and we're going to click on the Ken Burns. You get two boxes. You got a starting point and an ending point. And you can move these around and crop them however you'd like. Now the nice thing is, let's say that we're doing this and we're saying, okay, we're going to start in, let's just start in tight. So I'm going to start here because I want to work that little car in. And here's my out. So when I click on the box, you see how it changes the color. So there's my out. If I say okay, now let's go back and watch that effect. Okay, we're just going to show the first one. Now we're getting a nice slow, you like that movement? See how it gives it some life instead of just being a yep, okay. Okay. Pammy, you are getting your money's worth today. I'm blowing your mind. Okay, so let's reset it. Let's reset it. Okay. It's on the top right up here. Right up to the very top right. See that?
Got it.
Above the picture?
Thank you.
Okay, so I've selected my picture. You see it's got the yellow box in the timeline. And I'm going to go on the cropping tool. And then there's Ken Burns. We click on that. There's my windows. You see at the bottom left, it's start and end. Now I could say, okay, let's make that even tighter. So I'm clicking and holding. Let's say it's just going to be that to start. And then I want to go to the wide shot. When I'm all said and done and I've lined this up the way that I want that to be. Yeah. And then I click OK, or the blue check. Boom. So let's go back. Now, since I cropped tighter, that move is going to be faster. It's going to zoom in faster. So watch this. It's faster than it was before. That's determining, and I'll show you why. Let's go back here. I'm going to get a vertical shot. Okay. And since I changed the default to 10, it's 10. I want to keep it 6. Okay, so let's here's approximately 6. Okay. So let's say we want to do that Ken Burns effect on a vertical shot. Well, let's go ahead and click on it, and I'll show you a trick. So here's our thing. We're going to Ken Burns. You can see the start is up here, and the finish is down here. Now, there is a reversing tool right here. Swap the start and end areas. If I click on that, now it's starting down here and it's going up top. And you can change that depending on how you want that photo to be. But I like it going from top to bottom. Okay, so let's look at that real quick. And this is going to show you how fast 6 seconds is on a vertical. That's pretty fast. Maybe a little faster than you want to do. Well, let's do this. Let's increase the time of the vertical shot from 6 seconds to 10 seconds. So I'm going to click and hold. Let's take it up to 10. Boom. Now let's look at that. Oh, sorry. Here we go. Okay. See how it's a lot slower.
So your full shot is just that.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And
that Ken Burns change that to full screen on
yes. Well, it does when you look at that crop. Hang on. Let me just go back here real quick and show you the crop. It's giving you that full frame side to side of the vertical. And again, you could do the same thing. You could recrop that a little tighter. Let's say you said, hey, you know what? That's too wide. I'm going to start like here. Let's go like this. Let's start up a little higher. Let's do that. Okay, let's go back. So now not only is it going to scroll down, it's going to start in tight and it's going to zoom out. Okay. So we're tight. Now see how it's starting to pull back?
Can you do a left to right or a right to left?
You sure can. Let's say that you did, let's go to this one. It's easier to do it obviously on a horizontal shot. There's more room to work with. So let's go up to here. We're going to Ken Burns it. And I want to start in tight again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, let's start about here. And I want to start down at that hood. Like that, something like that. And then my out is here. Let's say apply it. And now I change that time from 6 seconds to 8 seconds. So watch, it'll give us a nice slow effect. Like that?
Nice.
Okay. Yes, sir.
And we linger on one side of it. And then we start, and then you stop and it and zero the color, and then you flip it.
I don't know. In Final Cut, yes. In iMovie, I don't know if you can do it. John says no. John's pretty good on iMovie. So, I mean, again, this is just kind of a get you started program. Now, and if you make that time shorter, so we're at like 7 seconds. If I only made it like 4 seconds, watch how fast it goes. There we go. I mean, it goes a lot faster. So depending on the mood of your piece, if you have something that's more high energy, you want them to not be on as long. If you've got more tranquil piece, so to speak, it's scenic pictures, it's pictures of landscapes and stuff like that, you might want those pictures to be up a little longer than, 6 seconds, maybe 8 seconds, something like that. Okay, so that's a great example of just saying, okay, depending on the mood of the piece and what I want to do, I can say, all right, did I change this one? I don't know if I did. Let's change that one real quick because I'm going to add this to, let's go to Ken Burns. And let's start, we're going to start wide and then we're going to come in tighter on our tiger. Okay. And we say okay, the blue check. And then did I have movement? I got movement to that, I got movement to that. Let's see, I'm doing out. Out. What I'm going to do is we're fine. Okay, let's play that real quick, just so we can see it. Okay. Here comes our transition, boom. Here's our next one. Now we're zooming in. then lastly, our transition to our vertical. Oh, and you know what? I didn't put a dissolve in there. No wonder it gave us a quick cut. See that? It just went right from this. It just did a hard cut, which is not good. So let's go up to our transitions. It's good.
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
A double click works on the transition. Put the position
Yes, it did.
where you want
It did.
Right, double click.
Yep, and I can get rid of that. It doesn't matter. Okay. So now and then we have our. See, that's why I bring John along to help me. Because I need it. There we go. There we go. Okay. So that's looking pretty good. Now let's do this. Let's put a little title on the front end of this so people know what this is. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back up to our top, to our titles. And there are all kinds of options. If you just kind of drag the mouse over the title, it shows you what it does. See that? And you have a fairly nice amount of options here. There's you know, like this has got a nice little one so that it will overlay. We could do that one. Here's the Star Wars one, Far, Far and Away, they call it. You know, and again, just play with these. Depending on the effect you're after. Do they have basic? They do have basic. I'm just curious. They don't have a basic. Interesting. Well, let's do this. Let's do this one for our title, because what it's going to do, it's going to overlay this black strip just a little bit over that photo, and we might have to readjust our crop on this. So what we're going to do is we're just going to drag that down. We're going to put that up here, and I can move this around. Come on. I should be able to. Oh, I know why, because I've only got, I'm going to make that a little longer. Make life easy. Okay, so here's our title, and you see how I'm kind of covering up the card just a little bit. So maybe what I want to do before I put my stuff in is go back to Ken Burns and say, okay, let's not start as tight. Let's just go down here, just like that. Okay. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to double clicking. Hang on. There we go. I double click on the title, and that allows me to change the name and the description. So I could put in Sarita, and I'm just going to call it Car Show. Because I'm a horrible speller, and God knows I misspell Sarita. I should be possibly able to move that down. I'll let you know. Hang on. Let's say this is Green Valley, because I can spell Green Valley. Okay. God bless you. I can also change colors right up here in the top. See, it's white type right now. If I go down here, I could make it red type. Or black or whatever. So again, these are things just to play with it. I'll leave it red just because it pops a little bit off of this thing. And then let's do this too. Let's see if we can move it around. And let's get rid of that. No, it won't let me move it. Can you move type, John? It's got to be where it's got to be. Okay. All right. Oh, you know, I didn't change the. There we go. Let's change the color. Red. Now you can also do. It will. Boom. You can make the type bold. Or italics. And I think that's outline. Yeah, outline. So what it's doing, it's adding a shadow or a hard outline around, so it's got a black. So if I click back on that, come on, say okay. I know it's hard to see from back there, but there's a nice hard black line around that. Especially if we had white text, it'll help the white text pop a little better. So hang on. Let's change the color to white. And then say OK. And I know it's hard to see from back there, but there's now that black outline around that text. It helps it just pop from that background. And let's do this. Let's do the same thing with Green Valley, just to keep it nice and easy. Change the color. So we click on the box, go to white, boom, thank you. And then we want to click on the outline and say OK. Boom. OK. So let's just watch that first slide. Boom, here comes our text. Now our text is going to go off. Like that. Nice and simple. And again, you could pick any of these. You may pick one where you say, you know what, I want that to be, but that may cover up the car. Yeah, yes.
Could you start with the blank?
Oh, sure. Oh, just having just a black screen. Sure. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I would just drop this rascal over. And I would probably pick a different, a big one. Let's get rid of the car show. I don't want to get rid of the car show. Let me put the car show over here. Hang on. Just so he goes over there for now. Let's grab the big one. And then just do the same thing. Car show. Yeah. Why can't I type it in? It's kind of looks like it. There we go. Let's see if I look down here. Got my head going all different directions today. Okay. It would help if I spelled Valley right. Yeah. Maybe close enough for you. Okay. So now let's see if it does its thing. And then you know what we might do is it'll probably, boom. There you go. And then it's going to transition. There you go. Now we didn't put a transition in there. If we put a cross dissolve in, that'll make that look a little nicer. So cross dissolve, click and hold, drag it in, boom. Let's see what that looks like. There you go. Okay. So now we got kind of a nice little thing going here. Let's add a little music. So let's go back to my media, and I've got my music, and I think I can play, maybe. Okay, that's kind of nice. That's kind of tranquil. I got 3 songs. I don't know which one I want to pick. That's a little too, yeah. Is that the technical term for that?
Yeah.
Yes.
I could do either one. Let's do the first one or the last one. I'd say, let's do this. We're going to drag that rascal down. And now we've got our music in there. Let's just play a little bit, but I'm going to show you another trick. Okay. Okay, let me do one thing here. Let me play through the big speakers, through the TV. Where's my sound? I want the same sound. Okay. Okay. All right. Now the other goodie we can do too. I mean, that was looking pretty good and sounding pretty good. We can also, down here at the bottom of the thing, there is a little thing where we can fade that music up. So you see that little, see how it says fade in audio? If I click and hold and drag that over, there is 1 second fade up on the music. So now let's play that. Now that's not bad. You know, sometimes some of these songs really are very abrupt when they start. So adding that fade in just kind of helps soften that transition from black. So let's play it again just one more time just to show. Now that we got the big music going. And the other goodie too is I can play it. There we go. Okay. Yes.
You know, you have the whole music in one.
Yeah.
Can you make part of it go quieter and then part of it go? If somebody wants to talk, you part of the music.
Yeah. That's something that there. No, it's something that we would get into in a more advanced thing because I don't have any dialogue. But there's a thing called under sound. It's called ducking. And since I don't have any dialogue, I can't. Maybe I can. Here it is. Right here, lower. You can say, okay, I want to do ducking. It will drop down the music automatically where that is. I need to work on that a little bit more. Just to, yes, sir.
In order to make a blank slide,
Mm-hmm.
can you highlight what's in the box and then just pick the black color? Will that wipe out the?
I don't think it will. My thought would be create a black slide in Photoshop.
Oh, okay.
You could do the high def. Since we're doing 1080, high def is 1920 wide by 1080 high, and that's pixels. So I would just go into Photoshop, create a black slide, away you go.
You could try just leaving the letters out.
You could do that too. Yes.
So I noticed on your title that little animation.
Yep.
And the outline of the animation disappears from the screen, but your picture of your first car is going in there.
Yep.
I just wonder if you put a little fade in black in there, and you put one transition after another, because you got a cross fade there.
You know, it did the.
You got a fade in.
If I get rid of this, because I do have the fade here, I think from before. Let's see what it does. Let not do the fade. Hang on. I got my fade in. You know what? I don't.
Transition. There's a fade in black.
Well, there was a fade out. There's only a fade out.
So that might work.
Fade to black. Let's try the fade to black on here.
See if that helps.
Let's try it. See, I'm learning too.
It's really,
If it works.
so you can see that.
Yep.
Nice.
There you go. Bravo, John. Yeah. So that's not bad. Now I'm going to show you one other little.
But really, it's just a question. Why don't you put another transition, a crossfade, right? Can you put two transitions?
I don't think you
side by
can.
side?
I don't think you can. We'll find out. Nope. See the little. No. No, John. No. No. You cannot do that.
I am ashamed.
Now, if we go to Final Cut, yes, we can do all that stuff. Okay. And nobody's like, no, I don't want to go to Final Cut. Let me do one thing here. I'm gonna just make this small. And I'm going to I'm going to collapse this box down just to be at the end of the music. Okay, something like that. Makes life easier. Let me go back to make it bigger. Okay, now I'm going to show you one other goodie that this is something I do with my videos and my slideshows. I have what's called a mask. And I will show you what the mask looks like, and then I'll show you how we use it. Where's that? Hang on. Is it here? Yeah, here's the mask. Here's what a mask is. Other than, well, let me get rid of the stuff behind it, make it a little easier to see what I'm doing. Go back to that again. Yeah, I can't do it that way. I just have to show you. Okay. This is what's called an edge mask. An edge mask. So as you see, there's, and I know it's hard to see, it's kind of vignetted. In the center, it's clear. On the edge, it gradates off to give us a nice edging. So what we're going to do is, and I will send this little mask along with the summary, and you can put this in your video. So what we're going to do is let's import that mask. Let's go back to iMovie, and let's go to import. And I want to go to my desktop folder and my photos. And there's my mask right here. Let's import it. Okay, here's my mask up here. That's that black, what looks like a black box right now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put this on top. Let's get it here, hang on. And I'm going to extend it throughout the video. Okay, now, and let's do this, it'll make it easier to see. Here's without the mask. See how it darkens that edge? Isn't that nice? I love this. I use this on all my videos. So now, let's watch this with that mask and look at how much mood it makes in this video. I didn't put it over this, just over the photos. Well, I'm gonna have to work on that. It just creates more drama. Okay. Whoa. Thank you.
That one I saw a little jerk.
Yeah, and you know what? I would assume that is my computer making that transition. Now, when we do the output, we'll have to see if that's in there. It could be because I'm asking a lot, or it could be that we're also rendering that mask over all these photos. We play that again just to, because where did it do it, Joe? It was in here? I can't remember if it was here. I think we're okay now. Okay. So now, I mean, and again, without going into fine detail in terms of, there was a little bit of a hiccup at the beginning there where that transition is that we put in for the first shot. And actually, can I extend that? Oh, and there we go. Well, I'll just put it over the top of it. You know, I'll do it, put it right there. And I'll do something on the back end the same way. Okay. Let's get rid of the transition out of the back side. And what we want to do, we're going to do a fade to black to finish our movie. So let's go up to transitions on the last slide, fade to black. Boom. Okay. And then what I want to do is drag this. I gotta see where this ends. Is it in there? Okay, it ends there. Okay. Now the other thing I want to do is I don't want that music just to end quickly. It's a hard. Let's watch just the last little bit. Oh, it automatically did it because of the dissolve. Oh, nice. Interesting. our fade to black actually took it down. The other way you could do it manually would be to drag the music down. Let's say that you said, okay, let's give it even a little more fade down on the music. There you go. So anyway, that's not bad.
You have a music thing that has a repeat. Let's say after 32 bars, it repeats. You could chop out the middle or whatever and put it together with a smooth transition.
Sure.
And shorten your background. So
There's many ways to play with the music, and so really, again, these are things you're going to get if you start getting more advanced with the program. You find out what it can and can't do, and what you want to do. The other thing I would say is music is incredibly subjective. What I like, you may hate. You may think it is the worst music. How did he pick that song? God, it's horrible. But I like it. Yes.
And you want to put the things that sound in the middle.
Right,
There was a little circle there,
right.
so you probably could drag that.
I can, well, sure, and you can go in, let's say that you can alter the volume of the music. You see it's at 100% right now.
Yeah.
I'm clicking on that bar. I can raise the level of music, but when we start to get into these reds here,
just
it's too much. The thing that I've found, because iMovie does not have an audio meter that I have in Final Cut, I can see where my levels are. I have found that pretty much as long as you're at 100%, you got a little bit of yellows here. Hang on. If you got a little bit of yellows, that's fine. You don't want to get into the reds. That's bad. It's gonna distort and sound horrible. Yes, Ron.
What I was talking about is when you went up to the speaker,
Yeah,
and put a little circle instead of
Sure.
dragging the whole line.
right. You could drag a
You could
section.
drag that
Sure.
section.
Yep. Yeah, and there's a tutorial that I'll also be sending to everybody in the summary that's on YouTube. It's really a good tutorial. It's about 20 minutes. It kind of goes through all the stuff that we've just been doing. It also talks about the audio in terms of some narration and how it does the auto ducking, they call it. So it's really, it's a very nice tutorial. Probably way better than me.
Can you show that fade in?
Sure.
Fade out, that
Yeah,
once more?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
just from that little dot you did it?
Yeah, you're basically you're taking that dot. If I zoom in a little bit, hang on. I'm clicking and holding, and you see how
Just pull it.
I'm just pulling it,
Yeah, okay.
and then it's showing you the time. Like that's 2 seconds right there, 2-second fade out, and you see the curve. That's showing you how it's going down. Now, since we put that fade to black at the end, it really does a nice job where it just, hang on. I mean, I'm pleasantly surprised how that fades out the music too at the very end. Now that might be a little abrupt on the music, so maybe adding that little bit of a 1 second or a little more fade out is nice. So let's just go ahead and add that back. Okay, let's go like that. That's 1.5 seconds. There you go. Not bad.
where do you find the royalty free?
I'm going to send you links on our Camera Club multimedia webpage.
On what club?
Our Camera Club, our photography club. Thank you. They changed the name. Old habits die hard. It's the Brooklyn Dodgers, not the LA Dodgers. Okay. Anyway, there's a number of sources for the royalty-free music. When you click on the site and you can listen to the songs and you just download them, they're free. And there's a pay service that I use, which is really good. But for you don't need that. So let's do the last thing. I want to do 2 more things, but I want to output this real quick and just see if we can do that. hang on. So if we go to share under file, we're gonna do a file. You can see it'll size it for email, YouTube. We want a file because we want to have a desktop version. And it's going to say, okay, we know that's it. It's showing us the file size, the resolution is 1080, so it's high def. We could downsize that probably to 720, which is still high def if we wanted, but you might as well make it big. Quality is high. You don't want to go to best. It increases the file size exponentially. If you look, here's high, which is more than sufficient. Our file's 93 megabytes. See that? Watch what happens when we go to ProRes. Yikes. 685. You don't need ProRes. If we were doing something commercially, we would output it ProRes. But for this, we don't have to do that. And then our compression, we want it to be better quality. You got faster, which is would not be as high of, it's more compression, so it's not as clean looking. But we've created this. We want this to look better. So let's make it better. And then we hit next. And then it's going to say, where do you want to put it? And I'm just saying, put it on the desktop. I have my whole options. I could put it anywhere I want. I could put it on an external, whatever. Let's just put it on the desktop. Save it. And it'll do its thing. It'll probably pop up here in a second. Oh, up here in the top right. See the little graph going? Very top right. It's showing us it's rendering the movie. And it's going to take a second. Yes, exactly. Yes, sir.
So you got some pictures there and you decide, I really don't want that. How do you?
You just go into the timeline and you click on it and hit the delete button and it goes away. You can add them back because they're always going to be in your up in your media. It never, if you delete it down here, it still is up here. So you can add it back.
I don't know if you mentioned it, the fact that it's saving all the time.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't mention it, but that's a good point. I never think about that. Back in the day, if you didn't save it all the time and the program crashed, you're SOL. And SOL is not the place to be. So anyway, these new versions, it automatically is saving all the time. You don't have to save.
Well, that media would store hundreds of pictures. You want to put them all
Thousands.
down.
It's a pain to look through it. That's why you're better off, like I said, putting the photos. You know these are the photos you're going to use. You don't have to necessarily use them all in that folder. Let's say, for just as a quick goodie too.
Can
What-
you make that into a folder right there, right now, or you have to, like, you wanted to put that into a folder right on that screen? You have to go back.
No, you can't. You cannot create a folder. You have to do it on the computer.
But it's searchable and you can organize it.
Yes, you got all kinds. You could say if I want to just have music, hide stuff you didn't like, your favorites, whatever. Again, I'm very simple when it comes to this, so that's why I want to do all these things beforehand. And let's say I bring in 30 photos. I've worked up 30 photos in Photoshop. I don't have to use all 30, but I could bring them in, and maybe I say, okay, my piece is 3 minutes long or 4 minutes long. If I go to all 30, now it's going to be 10 minutes long. Too much. So the other bit of advice I would give you is leave your viewers wanting more. That is huge. Don't put together a 20-minute, it's got to be damn interesting if it's going to be 20 minutes long. 3 minutes, 5 minutes max, maybe 8 minutes, depends on what you got and what story you're telling. In the multimedia class, we have some of our people are doing travel stuff. They've gone to Europe, and they'll do one, and it's 8 to 10 minutes. Well, great. They got all kinds of. They were in Europe for 3 weeks. Well, yeah, you're not going to squeeze it all into a 3-minute video. But I personally would rather keep people wanting more. So that's huge in my world. Yes.
Make a comment on that.
Yes.
Less is
That's exactly it. Exactly. Less is more. You bet.
All our lives we're watching commercial television, and those commercials come every 7 minutes. And whether we know it or not, if something's going beyond 7 minutes, we're going, all right, that's it over.
Yep. Exactly. So that's huge. Now, I can show you. Let me see if that should be on the desktop. Yeah. Well, there's my movie. All right. Boom. So you get the idea. So
How long does it say it is? I can't see. 37?
it's 37 seconds. Yeah, since we're just doing, if I was doing this with all of Joe's photos, he had about 25 nice photos, it would probably be about a 4-minute video. Something like that, 3-4 minutes. I don't know if your heads are exploding, or I can show you one other thing real quick on video. You
Sure.
okay? All right.
Yes to what?
Yes to what? This I'm going to make this really quick. Yes, your head's exploding. John, your head can't be exploding yet.
No.
Okay. I'm going to show you. Hang on. It's in my iMovie folder. I got some video clips. Come on. Oh. There we go. I'm going to import these the same way. This is a buddy of mine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these 3 clips and we're going to put those down here. And I'm just going to show you just how to trim up. Will it let me do that? Yeah. There we go. Add them. Okay, here comes our video clips. I'm trying to make this smaller. I don't want to make it that small. Okay, here we go. Okay, so let's say we're working with video. And what I want to do is I want to see the video. I probably want to just call it trimming it up. This is just a quick little 18-second video. So that one's not bad. Let's see if this one, there's one of these that I did where the first part of the clip is kind of, yeah, this one might be it. Okay. Okay, I was drinking during that, so you can tell. I got a little too close to him. Okay, let's say I don't want to get that first bit. Well, what I want to do is I want to just shorten that up. So I'm going to take and just drag it. See how I'm basically shortening up the clip. When I get to the point now of him playing, now I'm seeing him full blown. So, and now you can, and again, I'm doing this very quickly. You could do the same thing by adding a transition between these clips. And let's add a transition in here. And then let's just play that. So basically, you're just cutting out the bad stuff in the video. And again, this is a little bit more advanced when it comes to the video stuff. But you can intersperse still pictures with the video. It doesn't have to be just like still pictures and then video. You could say, okay, I want to have some of these clips, these still pictures inserted in with the video. So you have lots of options with this. So my best advice is play with this a little bit and just try bringing photos in. Don't add any Ken Burns, don't do anything else. Add some transitions. Then when you like that, then say, okay, now I want to crop the photo or I want to use Ken Burns, and then see how that looks. Yeah.
So the way you don't want it, you cut up the video, the pieces.
Sure. you could shorten these clips up however you would like.
You would divide them.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you can. Do I know how to do it right now? No, I don't. But if I play with it a little bit, I'll figure it out. Is there a blade tool?
Yeah.
Is it a B?
Yeah.
It's not a B. Okay. In Final Cut, it's a B for a blade. Next time, I will have. Yes, sir.
So to start off, you would put these in a folder. You would make
Yep.
a folder, but all the folder would actually not be one to use for your project.
Yep.
That would be the first thing you'd want to do.
Right here.
Or it's a trim tool.
Oh, it's trim. Can you trim the middle though?
No.
Okay.
Now, would you have a folder for music and for photos separate? Yeah, you did that. Okay. So you
Yep.
start with those and put all the material of your media in these 3 folders.
Yep.
And then from there, pull it in.
Exactly. That's why I said do your Photoshop work, your photos or elements or whatever you're doing, and it keeps it all organized. When the project is done, then you can put all this off on a hard drive, and you've got it forever in case you, like down the road, in 6 months, you learn some new techniques here, and you're like, man, I want to go back and work on that project again. Everything is in that folder. Do we have any other questions? Yes.
Thank you, Kevin.
Well, no worries.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
How do I get to the software for PC? I don't know.
You're correct. Okay. Basically, and I'm not PC literate at all. A 2-year-old knows more about the PC than I do. But there are programs that are on the PC. There's a program that I would suggest starting with, possibly. There's some easier programs. We'll have to find out from the multimedia group what they are recommending in terms of starting, but there's a program called DaVinci Resolve. And DaVinci is a platform that works either on the Apple or on the PC. They've got a free version of the software, and it kind of looks like iMovie. I've seen it once. I have not bothered to learn it because I got enough in my head. But the thing that's nice about that DaVinci program is you can start with the free version, and if you really get advanced, you've got a pay version that basically just gives you more options, which is nice. We have for those of you who don't know, we have a multimedia group that meets here at the club Mondays at 10 o'clock, and we have a lot of fun. We show some videos we're working on. In the summertime, we go twice a month. So like on the 2nd and 4th Mondays of the month, we have a meeting. We have what we call our off Monday meeting, which we don't do any, because we'll do hybrids for that. Well, on the off week, we will have, people can come in, they can bring a laptop in and say, hey, we have a problem. One of our guys, Todd Taylor, has DaVinci, and he came in with a problem. And it's like, okay, put it up on the screen. We put it up, and so we started talking about figuring out what the problem was, which was great. And then we got stuck. Google, okay, we Google the question, okay, oh, it's over here. So anyway, if you want to learn more about doing that, and then if you create a video, bring it in and share it. We'll talk about it. We'll show you. We don't beat the heck out of people, oh, you're horrible, that's horrible. No, we don't do any of that. We maybe give you some ideas of things you can improve or suggestions. And it's really a lot of fun. So anyway, I'll have to find out for you because I don't know, but DaVinci would probably be the way to start, and it's free. And again, and I know they do have some tutorials as well that you can click on the help section, and it'll show you how to get started and what to do. Yes, sir.
Kevin, I was thinking one of the things that some of us might experience, I think I have already, is something you want to undo. The option seemed to be delete.
Yep.
And of course, there's a paranoia that sets in about deleting something.
Right.
And what I found was that when I deleted it, I still had it.
Right.
It was still in
the trash.
it was still in the folder or
the media you're talking about.
Yeah, I just thought if there was something that as people are going through this and they want to delete something, it doesn't seem to, I mean, it's a good thing.
Well, sure.
Okay.
You could delete
Where
that.
does it go?
Never
Well,
Land.
it seems,
No, it doesn't. It doesn't go back here. It just this is always here until it's always within that program. Now, the only way to delete it is if I go back. As I kill myself turning here. If I go back to here and say, delete that photo. You know, I hate that photo. Get rid of it. If I throw it in the trash now, it's gone forever and it'll be out of your program.
yes, but
Where does it go when you hit delete?
no.
Oh.
I guess what I was saying is, okay, if it's in the timeline,
Yeah.
okay, if you wanted to delete it from there,
Yep.
I thought it was going back up into the folder.
It
I was
is.
thinking about undo
It's still there.
Well, yeah, it's still there. So let's say that I get rid of this photo right here. I hit delete. Now you see it's up here, right? Here's delete. Sayonara. It's still there.
That's
And I can drag it back into the timeline and I can do whatever I want to do with it.
I just thought that was beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. Yes.
I think something I use all the time is the undo and redo. We might just show that because you could do the things you just did.
Oh, okay.
Command Z.
Is it? Yeah. Well, certainly Command Z is going to go back, but it's not going to redo. If you Command Z, you're going to whatever the first thing is gone, and now the second thing you did is gone.
But you might also do-
Is that where is that at, John?
Yeah. So there's undo add. See it?
Okay. Oh, I see.
Undo. So that.
So it did away, and then I can do
It keeps
redo.
track of everything you do.
And then it came back. Did you see that? I'm going to scooch down. I'll try one more time.
You can hit undo 3 times, and then take you back 3 steps. Yeah.
There you go. Okay. Does anybody have anything else? Any other questions? Okay. Well, thank you. And oh, wait, we got one more. Hold that applause till the end. Yes, sir.
All right.
Uh-oh. This is scary.
Valentine's Day.
Okay.
Travel on.
Now we can fly.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll be in touch, and I'll be sending out an email with some of the summary and the links and everything for everybody. So we'll fix
And
you up.
another class next month?
And we're going to work on that, and I'll have to study a little bit more so I can do some of these things to help you. You bet.